Adam and Jamie from Mythbusters couldn't stand each other.
Wait, really? Oh my god, this shatters me. They didn't like each other?
Jamie and I don't get along very well. That's not a secret we've held.
While Drake and Josh weren't exactly buddies either.
We made this thing that people really
That's
love, but maybe we
crazy.
weren't that close.
However, let's begin by talking about Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes, who ironically played the inseparable lovers Romeo and Juliet. Prior to filming the movie, the
That's
actors had
such an
spoken
old
very
movie.
highly of one another.
Claire Danes is the most fantastic young actress I've ever come across.
Damn,
However,
look at young Leo. That's crazy to see. I haven't seen young Leo in so long.
His early days, Leo would always pull elaborate pranks on his co-stars, which was appreciated by some people on set, but despised by others like Claire Danes. He tried to pull multiple pranks on Danes when the cameras weren't rolling, and the young actor
Damn,
wasn't
he's a
having
little
it. It's rumored
prankster.
that the young actress found Leo a little immature.
He was a
For the very
kid.
same reason, DiCaprio found Danes to be uptight and overly serious, and as a result, according to some sources, the pair barely spoke to one another when not filming scenes together.
He's so
Roughly 1 year
gorgeous.
later,
You don't
Danes
think
was
he aged well? You don't think he's like a hot old dude?
offered but turned down the lead female role in Titanic, with some speculating that she was simply
Damn.
uninterested in
I
doing
bet she
another
kicks
film
her
with
ass for that.
DiCaprio. Despite this, the two have always talked highly of one another in public,
The dude is a genius. He's been a genius for decades now.
which wasn't the path taken by Kevin Smith after figuring out that Bruce Willis was a complete and utter dick. The two had agreed to collaborate
Bruce
on a
Willis is a
2010
dick?
movie called Cop Out, and 2 years prior in 2008, Kevin Smith praised Bruce Willis for being his favorite actor and biggest inspiration. However, as the
Damn.
two began working together, Kevin Smith realized he should have never met his hero. Despite Smith being the film's director, Willis refused to take any direction, with Smith later stating, "I was going at it like Bruce, do it like this. I was directing Bruce the way I direct everybody else." And Bruce was like, "I've been acting like Bruce Willis for 25 years. Do you really think there's anything you're gonna tell me that I don't know?" At a later point
Damn,
during
he's
filming,
egoing
Bruce
him.
Willis threatened to punch Kevin Smith, after which Willis had to be
Hell
separately
yeah.
photoshopped into the movie's posters as he refused to turn up to the photo shoots. On top of this, Willis failed to attend the
Damn.
party celebrating the movie's completion,
For his family? Really? I didn't know that. He's like real life Walter White.
where Kevin Smith made a toast stating, "I want to thank everyone who worked on the film, except for Bruce Willis." In a 2013 interview, Willis clapped back by stating, "Poor
Yeah.
Kevin, he's just a whiner, you know. We had some personal issues about how we approached work. I don't have an answer for
Really?
it.
I
I'm
did
never
not
gonna
know
call him
that.
out and lay him out in public. Sometimes you just
Those
don't get
movies.
along, although this isn't the end of the
Didn't
story."
really cash
After
that
Willis
for
was
$3.
recently diagnosed with aphasia, Kevin Smith took to Twitter writing, "Long before any of the cop-out stuff, I was a big Bruce Willis fan. So this is really heartbreaking to read. He loved to act and sing, and the loss of that has to be devastating for him. I feel like an asshole for my petty complaints from 2010, so sorry to BW
That's
and his
real.
family,"
This
which
is
is a
news.
much nicer ending compared to that of Sylvester Stallone and Richard Gere. The two
Oh,
met whilst
shit.
filming a movie called The Lords of Flatbush,
Damn, look at him.
where Stallone instantly disliked Gere's demeanor, stating, "We never hit it off. He would strut around in his oversized motorcycle jacket like he was the baddest knight at the round table, although the real argument came when the two were eating lunch together."
hot
Stallone
dog?
stated, "I was eating a hot dog and he climbed
He's like, yeah, it's pretty good eating a glizzy. Come on, bully." He's like, hey, it's not good eating a glizzy, Sylvester.
comes in with a half a chicken, covered in mustard with grease nearly dripping out of the aluminium wrapper. I said, "That thing is gonna drip all over the place." He said, "Don't worry about it," which was followed by Richard Gere spilling grease all over Stallone's pants. As a result, Stallone, quote, elbowed him in the side of the head, after which the director chose to replace Richard Gere with a different actor altogether.
Damn, Wenty! My boy! Yo, chat, show some love for Renty. Thank you so much for the gift of sub, brother. I appreciate the fuck out of you, man.
Despite this taking place more than
Yo,
50
shout out to
years
Ricky,
ago,
man. That's so
Stallone has
helpful.
stated,
Thank
"To this
you.
day, he seriously dislikes
You're such a
me," which
G.
is an ending also shared by Ariana
You're close
Grande
to
and
100.
Jeanette McCurdy after
What?
their one and only season of Sam and
They didn't like each other? I had no idea. I had no idea they didn't like each other.
Cat. When the show came to an end in 2014, Ariana Grande made an extensive heartfelt twitlonger thanking everybody involved in the production except for the other main co-star Jeanette McCurdy. This implied that the two weren't as close as the show suggested, which was confirmed at a later date when Jeanette stated the following.
She would have to miss work because she was being pulled in all directions. So she's got to do radio shows. She's got to do the Billboard Awards, the Grammys. She's performing at the Grammys, and I'm like acting on the show with a box because they decided that like for that week her character needs to be trapped in a box so she can go perform at the Grammys.
That's
As a result
crazy.
of this, Jeanette would write, Ariana misses work in pursuit of her music career while I act with a box. I'm pissed about it and I'm pissed at her, jealous of her, before expressing further
That's
jealousy in her
real.
memoir by attacking Ariana's upbringing. Ariana grew up in Boca Raton, Florida, an incredibly
What?
wealthy, idyllic town with a healthy mum who could buy her whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted.
Damn.
Gucci bags, fancy vacations, and
shots
Chanel
at
outfits.
Ariana?
Jeanette's hatred toward Ariana always
I
felt
guess that
pretty
name wasn't
pathetic.
hatred.
However, the feud between Will Smith and Janet Hubert reached a whole new level of petty jealousy.
What?
Janet
I didn't
played
know
Will
about this
Smith's auntie
either.
in Bel-Air and took an instant disliking to Will Smith as she felt it was unfair he'd been given a TV show at the age of 22. Will Smith later stated, I can straight up say that Janet Hubert wanted the show to be the Aunt Viv of Bel-Air show.
What
She
the
said once,
fuck?
I've been in the business for 10 years and this snotty-nosed punk comes along and gets a show. To her, I'm the Antichrist. While
Damn, Aunt Viv was like that? She treated her like dirt? That's crazy, Rinty.
Alfonso Ribeiro, who played Carlton, also noted Janet was painful to work with. There were days when we were all on set and she would literally go off on people, and they got to a point by the
Ew.
time the second season came around where we're like, this is unacceptable. As someone who was seen as difficult, Janet was offered significantly less money to appear in the fourth season, encouraging her to quit, which is exactly what she'd do. However, this only increased her resentment toward Will, as she'd
Damn.
state, there will never be a reunion, as I will never do anything with an a-hole like Will Smith.
Damn.
He is still an egomaniac and has not grown up. This constant reunion thing will never ever happen in my lifetime unless
Was
there is
there
an
ever
apology
a
which
Will
he doesn't
Smith,
know the word. Despite stating that there
Reboot with Fresh Prince?
wouldn't be a Fresh Prince reunion, it did eventually happen
Oh
in
shit, I
November
thought it
2020,
did.
where more than 30 years later, Janet was still convinced that Will had ruined her life, stating, I hated what you did, I just hated what you did. You took my career away of 30-something
That's crazy. She still, after all this time, bro. Wow, I would hate to live my life like that.
years, as Will Smith's comments about her being difficult made it hard for Janet to land work afterwards. At the end of their talk, the two made up and apologized, although Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey had no interest
Oh,
in doing so.
shit.
They'd appear alongside one another in season 12 of American Idol, where their almost polar opposite personalities began to clash immediately.
Are you country? Are you country? Do you like country? Do you like country?
And I kind of feel like we're
They
good.
beefed? I
What
really
we're made
beefed.
for
I'm trying to help her. We're trying to help her as opposed to just talk about
I'm
her
gonna continue to
outfit.
speak.
Of course, you
well,
always
we're
do.
almost
Go ahead.
actually.
In a notable instance, the two had this argument mid-show where
Nobody said every moment. Oh, excuse me. The music will cut me off if I can. Oh, darling, may I express this to her as a singer? I just feel like what maybe
Jeez.
trying to be expressed is just sing from your heart the entire time, and your notes will continue to shine regardless of the dirt that gets splattered around you.
after which Nicki threatened Mariah with
Yeah.
violence.
Multiple people heard Nikki say, if I had a gun, I would shoot that
Leading Mariah
What? Dude, Nicki Minaj, bro, that's real as fuck. Nicki Minaj said I had a gun, I'd shoot that motherfucker. Real as fuck. W Nicki.
and to state the following.
It felt like an unsafe work environment. I'm not going to take any chances, so yeah, I did hire more security.
In response to Mariah Carey's claims, Nicki responded by tweeting, hey y'all, let's just say Nicki said something about a gun. People will believe it because she's a black rapper. LeMayo, I'll then hit up Barbara and milk it, implying that Mariah
What?
had made the story up. Nicki then made another tweet reading, I guess it hurts to have the producers tell you to your face that Nicki is the best judge we've had since Simon, or poor you, keep them lies coming,
Jeez,
implying that Mariah was
jeez.
also simply not as good at judging. For obvious reasons, both judges quit the show
Yeah,
after
bangs.
only one season, after which Mariah Carey stated this,
That's
the worst
crazy.
experience of my life. I would never want to be involved with it again.
with Drake Bell and Josh Peck holding a
Aw,
similar opinion
yeah, I've heard
about
about
returning
this
to
one.
their most famous show. While it seemed the two had a great time filming Drake and
Well, I
Josh,
would
Drake
wanna
would
be
take to
in-
Twitter in
I
2017.
don't blame Josh for not like fucking with Drake. Someone who did what he did, like Drake ended up being a pedophile. Probably was always like a fucking weirdo freak their whole life.
Teen writing, when you're not invited to the wedding, the message is clear. True colors have come out today. Message is loud and clear, ties are
It's like
officially
part
cut, I'll miss you
dumbasses.
brother, which was
Damn.
followed by Drake flaming Josh via
Throw water
text
balloon
for
at
the
him.
very same reason.
I'm getting married that night, and I see these text messages from him, like cursing me out, coming for me. I'm like, on the night of my wedding.
The incident was a sad moment for fans of the show. However, 2 months later, they'd make up, apologize, and even
That's
post a
fucked
12 million view
up.
video together, implying that the duo was on good terms.
That's
that
because-
would be until 2020.
That's because Josh does anything for views. Josh Peck became like kind of like a David Dobrik for a while. It was kind of cringe.
When
really
Drake found
cringe
himself
art.
in a bunch of legal trouble, after which Josh made the claim that they were never really friends.
Are you guys like not friends?
Not really, no. We made this thing that people really love, but maybe we weren't that close.
So you guys were never close during the, like when you were filming, Drake and Josh? You were just kind of co-stars?
Obviously, there were times where we were closer than not, but when inevitably the show ended, I mean, we're just totally different kids.
These statements have since been criticized,
Damn.
given they'd spent a large amount of time together outside of the show, with one of these critics being Drake Bell himself, who'd give numerous examples
That's
of
so sad that Drake made a podcast called Drake and Janet and is using like the same like art from Drake and Josh, like riding off that branding.
them hanging out together.
That's what bugged me about it. He's like, we weren't friends, we didn't hang out.
Your Christmas party, the party.
That's what
They
bugged
got an ugly ass baby. Holy fuck. That was down payment than real.
me about it.
He
He's
was.
like, we weren't friends, we didn't hang out.
Your Christmas party, the party that I made.
He came all the way to Riverside to support me.
Josh is clearly trying to distance himself from Drake's sketchy legal situation, given Josh is still actively booking movie
Jeez.
roles in an industry where reputation is
Josh
everything.
wasn't an
There are obviously
iCarly?
mixed reports about whether or not they liked each other as co-stars, although it seems obvious that they're now no longer on speaking terms,
Oh,
and neither are the two
yes,
main
literally.
hosts from Mythbusters. Adam Savage and Jamie
crazy.
Heineman hosted the show for more than 12 years, after which an article was published reading, "The Mythbusters always had an amazing
I
secret
did not
weapon.
know
They
this.
can't stand each other." The article referenced an interview from Entertainment Weekly in which Jamie
Well, this is me
stated,
and
"We
Ben
like to
one
point
day,
out we've
chat.
known each other for 25 years and never once sat down to have a dinner alone together. We sort of
Really?
managed to tolerate each other. I think it's probably safe to say that continuing our on-screen relationship in front of the camera is probably not happening." To back this up, Adam stated this.
No, I don't think Jamie and I will continue to work together on other projects. Jamie and I don't get along very well. That's not a secret we've held.
With him claiming it's not a secret they've held, as it was mentioned while the show was still running.
We are not friends. We tend to drive each other batty. We have never, in the 21 years we've known each other, had dinner alone together. Our very different personalities means that we spend a lot of
That's
time
kinda
in
crazy.
sort of conflict.
Periodically, their behind-the-scenes animosity spilled out onto the camera.
What kind of seconds were you counting there? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? What kind of seconds are those? Who counts like that?
So it's no surprise that Adam would also state this.
There's a lot of fighting on camera.
I
We got
never-
really mad at each other. Like
I never knew it was serious when they were fighting.
significantly, vitriolically angry. We drive each other nuts every day. We get frustrated with each other on a daily basis.
However, the reason they're so proud of their awful friendship is because it's also their key to success.
The friction between Jamie and I has an integrity to it and a chemistry to it. We have respect for each other. We also drive each other absolutely batty.
We're not afraid to say something that will hurt the other's feelings because we
Damn.
don't care, Savage says. We consider it a point of pride that the right idea always wins. It doesn't matter whose it
old
is.
ass
It's a
fuckers.
working relationship based purely on respect and mutual gain, with their unconventional approach resulting in unconventional success as one of the most popular
You know
shows in
what?
TV history.
Damn, that's sad. I grew up loving Mythbusters. It's sad that they're not. Kind of hurts my childhood. Dubai, is everything wrong with society? Is it really? Is it really? Kanoko kitten got exposed. I can only imagine what a furry named Kaneko kitten got exposed for. I hope it had anything to do with a child.
Is this revenge?